Hey traders, Nick Shaheen here looking at Johnson & Johnson this morning falling sharply. I think they try to stop it somewhere here and then this is a daily chart, so every candle is 1 day and it's about a year's worth of data. This is about a year's worth. So the news is that some sort of a asbestos in the talc, we knew about that, but today the news is I think that the executive there knew for a long time that was the case, and they didn't do anything about it. So somebody asked me, do I catch this falling knife? Not from me. So I want to address it from two standpoints. One, fundamentally, okay, the company is great, they do good things. I heard a couple of analysts say they have the highest integrity. Well, if that's the case, why are they being accused of this? I don't want to be the judge of character. It's a good company, long time, historical company, I should say, from the American standpoint. So I don't want to diss it. I don't know enough about it. I knew that it happened. I don't know who knew what and when. So it's not for me to judge. So I will address it from the chart perspective. So is this a place to catch a falling knife? If I didn't listen to the news, I would think two things. Maybe because it is the last point of contention, and it was a point of contention, and it was a point of contention. You see what I mean? It's a pivot point, and those tend to be support and resistance. Because whoever fought over it here, they're going to fight over it here, they're going to fight over it here. I'll zoom out to see if that happened before. But this is enough data for now for this point. But a candle this size, I can't see anything this size except for this one here, cannot be a one-day event unless we have an immediate reversal of the headline emphatically denying the accusations today. So I don't want to be that judge. And if I were catching this falling knife, I would do it with a whole bunch of protection. How do I mean? If I'm buying the stock, I would buy some cheaper puts, shorter dated, to prevent that second whoosh lower, like this candle had follow-through lower, even though it had a long tail. Or I would do it by selling puts way below here. So how does that work? If you're not an options person, you can buy the stock at $132, $133. Or you can say, hey, you know what? I want to be long the stock, but I want to leave some room. So instead of buying it here, I'm going to sell a put at 124 or 125. I haven't looked at the premiums, but that's how it works at 125. So what I'm saying is, when I sell that put, I tell the market, I'll put a bid out there and I'll say, I'm a buyer if it falls to 125. And somebody will say, I'll buy that. I'll buy it. I think it's going to 125. That's the other person. They'll say, I'll buy that lottery ticket. So I'll sell them that lottery ticket, and I committed to buying it at 125. So if it falls through 125, I have to buy the shares at 125. So you say, oh my gosh, so now you're stuck. Well, it's better than owning it from 132. I saved myself, $7 per share. So that's how selling puts work. And for that, I collect a premium. So what if nothing happens? I made money. What if it falls another $6, 6.99? I made money. What if it falls more than that? My break even is whatever, 125 in this case. I used 125 as an example, minus what I collected. So if I collected $2 for it, so it'll be 123. I'm making up that $2 number up. I have not looked. It's a busy morning, so markets are open. So that's how selling puts work. That's how I leave a buffer. Now, I could buy calls, but that's my least favorite because you've read the statistics. Most options expire worthless, so I'd rather be selling them than buying them. By most, I mean, I've seen 80%, 85%, 90%. I don't know the number. How many of those are part of spreads? All spreads are designed for one to lose, one to win. So I don't know how that works out. It's a shady statistic, but in essence, I'd rather be selling with information. So in this case, catching a falling knife here, not an obvious situation. So this is a point of interest here. Okay, so there's a good chance it's going there if nobody says anything in the next couple of days. Who wants to touch this? Okay, so the price action allows for a drop to 128 with no problem. That's my opinion. In fact, I don't know when I drew this box or for what reason. Maybe for a breakout out of here. So it's been a point of interest for a while. So this is one time frame. Okay, so if you wanted to see a shorter time frame, let's go to 15 minutes. I don't know why, but you can see how the downfall, there's no let up in the selling. Okay, I'm going to negate that. Okay, so in this case, I just want to up the time frame, go higher. So this is a weekly chart 5 years worth of data. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I don't need 5 years worth of data. I just want to see what happened up here. So this is where it becomes clear that this has been a pivot point for a while. This is back to 2017 June, and maybe you can argue this point right here. So resistance, broke out through it, held, consolidated, broke through it, held, fell through it, came back to it, broke from it, and now they're trying to use it. It is not a hard line in the sand. It's a zone. So I can't tell you this is the bottom. In fact, if I go down to the lowest of this candle right there, it's 129. So what did I say earlier? It has room to fall to 128 on the daily candles. So here's the data jamming again. So this is 128, this is 128, this is 128. This is an important candle right here because it was as big as this one, only they rejected it. These are weeklies. So by the end of the week or next week, well, actually this weekly is going to be nasty because it ends today. But this is a weekly candle. So unless they have a complete reversal, I don't think it's going to do that. But you see my point? Yes, it could be a place to catch a falling knife, but boy, you need kid gloves with that, or metal gloves, I should say. Not an obvious place to start along, in my opinion, as good a stock as it is. If I do it, I'll do it by selling puts or put spreads, but I haven't checked the premium either. They should be hot on a down day. All right, Nick signing out. If you have any questions, sellspreads@gmail.com.